Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave original. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. And this is that time of week where we have a hater join us, coming to us live from DC. Check him out on the Ranger tailgate. And please note, he has a framed jersey behind him with his last name, not because he liked the player, just because it says Anderson on it. Joel Anderson, what's going on?
What kind of introduction is that? What do you want this podcast episode to be?
What do you mean?
What do you want
it
to do here, man?
Look, I am identifying you in the way.
What a wind up!
I've identified you the way the audience knows you and recognizes you. So once I say that, they're like, "Oh, it's going to be Joel."
No. People know me for, I would hope, some of my other work. You know, about Clarence Thomas, Slow Burn 8, Slow Burn 6, the LA Riots, the piece I wrote on Michael Sam.
We told them about that. We told them about that when you was the fastest 10-year-old in America.
See, look at. I just want everybody that watches this show to see what is going on here. I'm not even.
What I gave you? Hold on.
I have not said anything negative about Bo. I got attacked. I feel attacked.
I want to be clear. You seem to be taking the 10-year-old thing personally, as if the only reason I know this is not because you told us about it repeatedly.
Well, I mean, I just kind of feel like you just leapt over a lot of other things. I was going through a list of some of my, in fact, I was going to bring up my LinkedIn and go through all my honors and achievements. And I was going to read them off here so people know that there's more to me than running fast when I was 10 years old and allegedly being a hater. And I don't think I'm a hater at all. And I don't think people really think that. I don't think people really believe that I'm a hater. But
Division I college athlete.
There you go. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thanks.
Because if you start rattling off your achievements, that's going to give me some professional PTSD that I don't necessarily need.
What? Professional PTSD? Oh, okay.
Listen to me now, believe me later on. You dig what I'm saying?
I got you.
But anyway, I mentioned you on the Ranger tailgate with Van Lathan and Tate Frazier, both of whom, I guess TCU has a football team this year. We just don't ever talk about it, but that's better than they football teams. They got LSU and North Carolina, and you would much rather have a football team that don't nobody really talk about than be like them.
Well, that's a hell of a wind-up. Of those 3 programs, mine is the only one that has recently played in a national championship game. But fair enough.
This is true. And the only one to lose by 50-something points.
You got to be in it to win it, though.
That's very true.
You got to be in it to win it.
You're not wrong.
You got to be
not wrong.
And they are going. It is very weird how they're going through like really miserable football years at the same time, and we all got thrown together. Because I didn't think North Carolina would be good. But I didn't think they would be as bad as they were. Although I will say they do seem to be better the last couple of weeks. The last couple of games, they're doing better. And the LSU thing, man, like, what can we? I think that all of them are being ridiculous.
Yeah, because I'm saying you believe that Penn State should not have fired Franklin, and you believe that LSU should not have fired Brian Kelly.
I think that the odds are at some point in the next 5 to 10 years that one of those guys would figure it out, if not both of them. That they would get eventually.
Right fast. How do you define figure it out?
Well, they would win a championship.
National championship.
A national championship. Yeah. I think that one of them would. Just because, some years things don't break your way. You have fumbles or whatever, but then one year, Ohio State's replacing a quarterback, or they lose a bunch of guys to injury, or Ryan Day decides he wants to be the coach of the New York Giants. Things like that happen, and eventually they would be in position to seize on that. Because, I wonder if Brian Kelly had another, because LSU should be used to 8-4. That's the thing. I think they're acting like they're too good to go 8-4. They acting like they're too good to go 8-4, and that is really the story of their program, but for the exceptional few seasons, right?
Right. That is correct. But let me ask you a question on that front, right? Mm-hmm. Because I agree with you on that they are. LSU is plus or minus 9, maybe 9.5. Like that's where the line pretty much gets set in most years, right? But if you settle for plus or minus 9, will you not always be plus or minus 9? I feel like at some point you have to show a little proof of concept. Like I think the problem for Franklin and why I thought, okay, you guys had to do this, it wasn't about the wins and losses, it's which wins and which losses. And at some point, you got to win the ones that matter. So it was very interesting. Mac Brown survived losing 5 years in a row to Oklahoma when he was at Texas, but he was
in an
kicking
embarrassing fashion.
Right, but he was kicking A&M's teeth in
Right.
along the way. And
That's
look,
fair.
he was one terrible pass interference call in 2004 away from losing that job. The Kansas call where Mark Mangino was like, the fix is in. And I was like, I understand why it is that you feel that way, brother. It looks that way. But I guess for schools on that level, look, LSU's won 3 national championships in the last 25 years.
Right.
I get maybe why they feel that way, but at the same time with you, I feel where you're like, okay, these results are not terribly out of line, but do you not add something to the fact that don't nobody like that man?
Oh, that is the whole ball game with Brian Kelly. Did you know, I knew that he wasn't liked. Did you know that he was the most reviled man in college football? Because that is certainly what it seems to be. It has been very hard to even find former players to say, hey, thanks, Brian Kelly, for believing in me. Right?
Hey, man, I called a former player when he took the LSU job. Because again, I was struck that he did not bring a single assistant with him. And a bunch of them stayed with that wavy-headed boy at Notre Dame, right?
Which seems like a very dangerous prospect, by the way. Like
that was a risky play.
Let me say with the brother here at Notre Dame, or let me go to the Brian Kelly, winning coach going to LSU.
Hall of Fame level coach,
yes,
right? Now,
absolutely.
Look, I don't know if Brian Kelly asked any of them to come, whatever, but I asked a former player of his, I was like, so is there anything that we're getting wrong here about Brian Kelly? And he said, just no. No. Like he wasn't mad about it. He didn't express any disdain. Like he seems to just not have relationships at all.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading the top of a story from ESPN like a few years ago where it talked about some assistants that had worked with him at Central Michigan and they thought they were getting invited to a party at his house. And it turned out he had them doing work. You remember, it's kind of like the Hakeem situation when he was to Mr.
You
McDowell's
thought you got
house.
Invited, now you got to park car.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Gave him a little coat. And they were just like, and I learned through that experience that if I ever got in that position, I would never treat somebody that way. And I was like, this is a quote too in a story.
Like I believe there was a name attached to it.
There was a name attached to it. It's like, yo, people do not have any problem going off on that dude. And yeah, I mean, he clearly.
The 2 people involved you're referencing are Matt LaFleur and Robert Saleh, and they were on the record.
Robert Saleh, yep.
Ryan rarely jumps in on the 2-man episode and had to jump in because LSU fan has run through all of these things.
They had to. This is why his ass ain't here no more. That's what he was.
Right, like Brian Kelly is like 8 different levels of the draft day movie, but nobody came to his birthday party. Right, like it's all, and look, he's not the only. Think about this. As much as you think Nick Saban is a jerk, people don't talk about Nick Saban like this.
No,
not even close.
I mean, so there's 2 things with Nick Saban, and I always kind of feel like people are scared of him for whatever reason. Like they call him Daddy. You know?
That's wild.
Homeboy had to diss his homeboy Steve Sarkisian. He's like, hey man, Daddy's gonna be on me if I don't do it. Like, is that was that Pete Golding? I think it was. Golding.
But hey, brother, I don't care what the circumstances or situations are. Could not be me. We gonna have to come up with a different name.
Oh, you not gonna call no other man Daddy?
We gotta draw the line somewhere, baby. We gotta draw the line. We gotta draw the line somewhere. Like if somebody getting called Daddy and is not your actual daddy, that is a title that one must earn and one that Nick Saban cannot.
Very strange.
At least not from me.
I mean, someday Nick Saban has to come into my house, and meet my family, and I'm referring to you as Daddy. You know what I'm saying? In front of my wife and kids. I don't know. Maybe that's toxic masculinity or whatever, but I
imagine the way your woman is going to look at you when you call this man Daddy.
Yes. I mean, bro, but obviously something is special with him, but also he's excellent. Like it's, so we saw Brian Kelly dancing with recruits, right? And it looked goofy as hell.
Right.
We've seen Nick Saban do the Cupid Shuffle, and he looked like he was on beat, on time with all of it.
Yes.
So obviously, like, he's also just got a little swag. He carries himself different. Brian Kelly ain't got none of that, man.
No, and at a place where they like their coaches to be fun in some form or fashion. Like Louisiana is not a boring place.
No,
Like it's just you got to provide some measure of entertainment. But let me tell you, our last show we talked about the fact that it doesn't feel like any jobs are good anymore,
no.
right? Like there's no the pressure at every job is now professional caliber pressure. And you're looking at a 3, 4, 5 year sort of schedule. Because again, we've talked about this before. It is entirely possible that Auburn is going to come open as a job. Like that one is still on the board as one that could come out there. Florida State, I don't think any of us think it's possible that they don't make a move. I think North Carolina has no choice
Yeah, they can't let that go another
but to
year.
make a move. Because why is anybody come? Like, how much money would you have to pay to get somebody to sign up for whatever the fuck it is that they over there doing? Virginia Tech, we forget Virginia Tech is still on the board. Like that job came open. There was another job that came open like that same week. UCLA
Arkansas
still out there. Arkansas. Well, I think Arkansas is going to do the hilarious thing with that job.
I mean, I actually kind of can't blame him.
No, because who else are you going to
there.
get? And who else are you going to get?
Yeah, and he wants to be there. He's not a bad coach.
No,
he didn't get fired because he was bad.
No, he was the best coach they've had since Frank Broyles.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's just like I kind of can see why they might just want to be. We can sit this out. We got somebody that already knows how we like things here,
and we ain't got to pay him that much because there is no competition to hire him.
That's right. It's just you. It's just you. We know what the market is for you right now, bro.
Hold on, think about this. He has people who go with him to different jobs, and Brian Kelly doesn't.
Yeah, man.
Bobby Petrino is who we're talking about. For those of you who don't know.
Yeah,
there are people who are loyal to Bobby Petrino, and nobody is loyal to Brian Kelly.
I have played for guys that people hated. You know what I mean? Like just know, and I've just never seen people talk about a person in the way that Brian Kelly has been talked about. But I wonder, I mean, the thing is, he's still a good football coach. I think he'll get one of these jobs. I think it's possible.
Is it a job that he's willing to take? Because he's 64 years old.
Well, that's the good thing. So, like, listen, what if I give you one of these two jobs? Michigan State or Wisconsin. If one of those come up and they hired him, that's not a bad hire for them, is it?
It's not a bad hire for them. I don't think it's a great hire for Wisconsin because I don't think you can run the kind of offense Brian Kelly wants to run and be successful at Wisconsin. Like, I think Wisconsin, we're just going to line up and mash you out. Like, that's what they do. Michigan State, maybe. The thing is, all right. He has grown accustomed to a lifestyle, shall we say, as it relates to coaching. And I'm not talking about the money, just the places he's been.
Golfing.
I think it is a giant, but I just think it's a giant step down from what is possible at Notre Dame and at LSU to Michigan State and Wisconsin. I think that Michigan State in particular, I think that is a huge drop from what, like, getting used to a job where, look, they mad at you for 8-4 at LSU. They'll be fairly happy with you for 9-3 at Michigan State. And I don't think he wants to live that life again.
I hear, see, to me, that sounds like a good job. Because that's when you were talking about this, I was like, you said, are there any good jobs? You know what sounds like a good job? Ole Miss.
But I don't think Ole Miss is a good job anymore. I think Lane has blown the box.
You think he's blown it up now?
I mean, they've been going to Sugar Bowls, right? Like they've been going to these levels of games. They are probably going to finish in the top 10 this year.
Yeah.
I think that used to be. So we talked about this. I don't think even Kentucky is what Kentucky used to be, where if you can go 7-8 wins every year and just don't embarrass them, everything, and you'll make your money and everything will be okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that anymore. Like, I'm curious if you still think that that's something that people will be able to pull off in the Big Ten and the SEC. You might be able to pull it off. Like, put it like this. You can't go back to 9 wins a year at Clemson anymore, for example. You know what I mean?
So the thing is will fans ever catch up with the reality of modern college football, right? Like, will they be able to say, you know what? This is a lot more like the NFL. They're playing a lot more competitive conference games. You can take a couple losses and shoot, man, rosters aren't as deep as they used to be. So if you get a few injuries, it can really take you out of the running, right? So if fans can kind of come to that understanding, like, would it be like, man, just because the Chiefs lost, it doesn't mean they sorry, right? Or they didn't, 1 year the Bengals don't make the playoffs and people are like, oh, that's horrible. That people have sort of an understanding that things are going to happen on a year-to-year basis. But as long as you're consistently good and consistently contending, people will understand. But
what do you call contending consistently?
just being able to make the playoffs and have an outside shot at the championship.
Okay, so you're saying, and I'm assuming that when you say that, you mean for like a certain echelon of program.
Right. Like, so that's the LSU should be able to accept 8-4 every now and again, is what I'm saying.
Every now and again, yes. How often should they win 11? Because Brian Kelly won 10 twice.
In a 10-year span, 4 years.
11, 4 out of 10 at 11?
Yeah.
I feel like you have undercut your argument because that feels like a lot of 11s.
I mean, man, because you're going to get weak schedules sometimes. So that would be 11-1. Maybe I should say 10.
Yeah, keep it in mind they got to play Alabama every year.
That's right. They got to play Alabama every year. Now Ole
and
Miss
Texas A&M every year.
Tough, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll go back to 10. Maybe I'll go 10 wins every 3 to 4. 3 to 4.
And by the way, the 10 will be a 10-2. I think we need to specify
10-2. So you got to accept that you're going to lose a couple games, right? But you know what, Bo? What I was going to say, the piece that, what has blown all this up and makes people unreasonable? Kurt Cignetti and Clark Lee.
Yes, it is. Look, Kurt Cignetti, I think Kurt Cignetti even more than Clark Lee.
Oh, yeah, man, dog. Kentucky's looking at Indiana, and they're like, what? They're right there. What are you... How they doing this?
with the James Madison All-Star.
Yeah, bro.
I've talked about this many times on this show, but it's a bunch of guys he brought. Like where Deion went to Colorado and said he was bringing his luggage and it was Louis. Dog, he rolled up with duffel bags.
Dog, he just
still flossing.
I mean, and they look great. They look great. I don't know what happened. They put Indiana uniforms on, and all of a sudden they became Oregon. And so I'm sure Kentucky is like, they don't even have boys in that state. You know what I'm saying? They don't even got, where are they getting these people from, And so I'm sure that they're looking at that, and then probably to a less extent, say like Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt's bullying LSU. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on. Think about this. James Franklin won some games at Vanderbilt. Like, I want to say he got some wins over Georgia, but it was like, I guess this is down as LSU, but it was like kind of down Georgia. But James Franklin parlayed that into this Penn State job with a couple of seasons in the top 25. And by the way, deserved. Well done.
Vanderbilt's so hard.
Yeah, Clark Lee could not have done this without what Franklin had done prior to kind of legitimize the place.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying, if what James Franklin did at Vanderbilt could get you Penn State, what exactly can Clark Lee get out of doing this at Vanderbilt? Because I don't hear his name being talked about like as a guy to go to LSU.
Right. Because he's home. Vanderbilt is home for him. So, yeah, I know, because Jonathan Smith. So I bet Jonathan Smith. So this is what these guys need to be thinking about. Jonathan Smith, they loved him in Oregon State, man.
Yes. But but to be fair, they ain't got a conference. Like their whole Oregon State became a completely different job.
Yeah, right. And when he left, that's right. He had to go somewhere. But I wonder if they just don't think they can dislodge Clark. But the thing is, you're gonna have to, if that's the guy you want, you have to make him say no. Because the reality of Vanderbilt is that he's not gonna be able to do this year over year. Right? Like that is
well, hold on. Let me ask you a question on that. Clearly, Indiana thinks that you can do it year over year there because they're paying that coach like you can.
Right.
Right. And I'll be honest with you. I thought that this new world order would lead to Indiana just being a feeder for other programs.
Right.
Like Michael Penix going to Washington after having been at Indiana. I thought that that's what it was going to be. I guess it never dawned on me that they could ever be a 10, 11 win program. But they look like they're going to be buyers.
Yeah, man. It's like, I've never been to Bloomington. Have you been to Bloomington before? I've heard it's nice. They were good at basketball once.
Let me tell you something, man. There ain't that many states that truly worry me.
Man.
And I don't know if you've done any like driving through Indiana, like the Indiana that ain't got no dots.
Oh, well, yeah.
Did not like it.
Are you talking about like Hammond?
No, that's Illinois. No, that's Indiana. You're right. No, I'm talking about Southern Indiana. I have been to Hammond. Okay. And I will say about Hammond, the project got white people in it. And that is, you're right. But yeah, Hammond, Indiana, which is close to Chicago. That's why I said Illinois. But I'm talking about down south Illinois.
That Bloomington stuff and all
I don't know where exactly it is. I'm just telling you. I done a lot of driving, man. I've done the Eastern Kentucky. I've done all the Deep South. I've done all the West. I've done all I-10. I've done all I-40. Indiana felt a little different.
Really, man. I'm
Indiana
trying to
felt a
think.
little different.
I could see that. I'm trying to remember what state felt like that for me. Maybe the South Georgia actually kind of felt like that to me a little bit.
Yeah. South Georgia's a little worrisome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done all the way across Kentucky from like Louisville going back to North Carolina. So some Kentucky with a little WVA thrown in there.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's all right.
I do remember I went to get some gas in Eastern Kentucky, and that was the most transactional encounter I've ever had in the South.
Really?
Yeah, it felt like going to the bodega up north. Boom, boom, go.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that like he ain't have nothing to say to me. I ain't have nothing to say to him.
Man, that's crazy. You know, it's funny about those areas because Florida low key got a lot of those spots. Like just even within the Tampa Bay area, they used to. Oh man, I'll never forget. I used to have to work Sundays in Pasco County. Pasco County has. I'm trying to think what the Lando Lakes would be one of the cities there. So I don't know if that or Dade City. Dade City
Okay.
is a Pasco. But
That's where Penix is from,
Penix
right?
is from, right. So there's one side of the county that is very rural and another part that's very suburban and kind of close to the water. So one day I get a call. They say, "Oh man, there's been a shooting over on Teak Street in Newport Richey." And so I look this, I'm looking it up to see, and I see in the archives Teak Street Nazi compound. It's like I told the editor, I was like, bro, I'm sorry. I was like, it was the only time I've ever been like, nah, I'm not doing it. Because they had killed, the reason it was famous because they had killed a black dude who was over there to see some girl that he was trying to visit. And I was like, bro, I can't do it, man. So there's some spots even within like Tampa that are kind of like, I don't know if I want to be over there, man.
Well, that's the thing about playing college football that the young boys don't necessarily know to inquire about is like, know your surroundings because you could be signing up for like campus is super dope wherever campus may be, but it's a few. Like Penn State is one of those where it's like, yeah,
what we gonna do out of here?
I don't think I would do that.
Yeah, we say Pennsyltucky.
I don't think I would do that. Like they clearly get players and they spent the money and they got the dudes there and like Philly guys still want to go there and they, and that still produces a decent number of people and you can get New Jersey guys and all of that. But that feels a lot like College Station East. And College Station, and by the way, College Station is just whack. College Station is not like College Station does not scare me.
Doesn't scare you, right?
No, it doesn't have that. It's just College Station.
Well, yeah. So College Station is funny because like when you grow up in Houston, if you have never been up there, you assume that it's kind of close. I thought it was just more black than it was up there than it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's in a very kind of rural area. But you know what A&M got, man? They got them. A&M got them, man. A&M got them, bro. Shout out to the Southwest Black Leadership Conference they used to have down there every fall.
It sounds like they was there for the conference.
There was other stuff. I can't say what it is. I don't remember what it is. But it was not, I could kind of understand going there and being like, well, I took my wife through there once, Janae, and she said it looked like a farm and an office complex. And I was okay.
I mean, Texas A&M got a zillion people, so they got something, but I'm not.
Yeah, it can be fun there.
I'm not in.
It could be fun there. The Penn State thing to me is more because I'm like, okay, we don't have any proof or concept that brothers actually will choose Penn State without some exceptional circumstances. Joe Paterno was a whole different time, and they were taking brothers way before them schools in the South were. So they had access to talent that a lot of other people didn't have. And Joe Paterno promoted a certain kind of a culture that could have been welcoming to the brothers that wanted to play there. All right. He goes away. They get Bill O'Brien for a couple years. Then you get James Franklin, who's a really charismatic brother who can recruit the DMV pretty well. Like this is his area, getting up and down here. I mean, can Matt Rule get the same kind of brother that want to come now?
I mean, so this raises the question, which is, these are the things that have mattered forever.
Mm-hmm.
And how much do they matter now that we're talking about paying people?
Yeah, man. Wow.
Because I think at some point though that there's got to be some like the market for players can't have but so much variance at a certain level. Like these things on the margins, I feel like still have to matter to a degree, especially if you're dealing with the kids that come from means, which is a lot more players than, at least it feels like a lot more players than it used to be. So some of our like adages about coming out of poverty, that don't seem to apply nearly as much as they used to these
Fair point.
players.
Fair point. Yeah, fair
But
point.
I do think you raise a fair question. Now, can Matt Rule do it? But to be fair, man, brother's been signing up to play for white boys forever. Like,
That's true.
That's not a new situation.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But they ain't signed up to play for every white boy at every place.
No,
You know what I mean?
No.
Like Ole Miss, it's until very recently that people were like,
I still can't believe they do it.
Right. Because we come from a time when you could turn on TV and they just had them flags blowing in the wind in the stands, man. Like even Tommy Tuberville had to be like, could y'all stop doing that?
Yes.
Y'all are making my job hard. Please stop doing that.
You're scaring the bros.
Yeah, man. You scaring the bros. You scaring the bros. But I mean, Ole Miss has changed, and you actually made a really good point, because I think about a lot of how the demographics have changed and sort of like the cultural reality for elite football players has changed. Because it ain't like the old days, man, where your 5-star stayed at Yates. They were at Yates for all 4 years or whatever. Like them kid, Bobby Taylor had a kid.
Bobby Taylor, who played college ball at Notre Dame and played for the Eagles in the league.
Played for the Eagles, 6'4" corner. His kid went to a school inside of the city limits, Houston Heights, and then he finished at Katy. And I was just thinking about like, oh, that's the kind of stuff that happens now. Like the kids,
that's a very Florida thing that really wasn't happening in Texas before.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kids will move out or playing out in Allen, or, one of them, we see brothers playing for Westlake and Lake Travis and stuff like that now. Stuff that just did not, usually those schools did not have those kind of athletes there.
Those alums of those schools, for those who don't know, Westlake, Drew Brees High School, Lake Travis, Baker Mayfield High School, Baker Reagan Mayfield, just so you understand the point that we're making here.
That's right. So it was kind of, these kids are sort of operating, you're right on that point. They operate in a different reality. They have a very different relationship with community than we used to have. It used to matter when, for example, in Mizzou, the reason they had problems for so long getting brothers there is that they had black media, radio DJs in St. Louis that actively discouraged their top black athletes from going to Mizzou. Like they would show up at your house and be like, I can't tell you where to go, but I wouldn't send my kid there. And Mizzou had a real difficult time tapping into that kind of talent because people were just they had just that kind of resistance. But I don't even know that kind of community exists anymore anywhere. Like, I don't even know, like, who would be the voice that people would listen to that would say, you may not want to go to Florida. I mean, that's not a school. That's a place that's sort of hostile to you.
Yeah, it feels much more transactional now. We don't have that much proof of concept on this, obviously. It's a new world.
It's all new
that we're in. But yeah, the question is how much do those little things matter? Like 40 was on here talking the other day, and he's right that spending money on facilities is a bad play these days, because it made sense to spend money on facilities when you couldn't give the money directly to the players.
Right.
Now that feels like a bad use of money. But at the same time, one would think the facilities should matter, but something to consider. And I would say this as we go into the break. When these coaches take these jobs, they don't set foot on campus. Right? Like if a coach has never been to a university, there's no time for, well, I'm going to go take a tour, let my wife go around and check out the schools. There's no time for that. These guys are deciding to go to places they've literally never been, often with like the facilities they've never seen.
Well, Bo, you know what? It's actually interesting. I'm hearing that a lot, too, about transfers now, too.
Yeah.
Like people that go in transfer portals, if they've already been through the recruiting process, they'll pick a school and not even have been on campus there, which I'm like, that's shocking to me. I don't know that I could do that. But
like if you pick a place if you go to a place you already took an official, okay, I see that. Or there's a coach there that you like. But yeah, to me, the idea of going to these places, especially when you have options, is wild. But what else are they supposed to do?
Yeah, man.
They just don't I always think coaches get a bad rap on the way that they leave these schools.
Mm-hmm.
There's no good way to do it.
Right.
It's not possible. You don't, hey kids, just giving you a heads up. I might be out of here. But then you can't come back.
Right.
Like there is no coach transfer portal and everybody understands that you're just doing what you can't. Like it's not an option. These moves have to be made very, very quickly. And like the next day, you got to start recruiting. You just put on a whole new hat
Right.
and you become an entirely different person.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just tough, man. You're right. I look, I'm not a coach apologist, but I think it just kind of like we've just done. I think people do have to kind of understand the reality of coaches has changed a lot now, man. Like this is a very difficult job. And even if you've excelled at it in the previous decade, there was some evidence that Nick Saban wasn't quite acclimating to the new era as much as he liked, right? Like those last couple Alabama teams weren't as good as the ones of earlier vintage. So people are going to need time to figure it out. And because of all these shifting dynamics, a lot of people clearly going to get fired until we finally settle into this, though.
All right. We got some media talk coming up next. Football is back, and so is your shot at big wins. With DraftKings Pick 6, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, your game day instincts can score you real money fast. Here's the play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats, from breakout rookies to elite QBs, and unlock the upside every snap brings. The better your calls, the bigger your payout. And here's the kickoff bonus. New DraftKings customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. This season, play your player instincts. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Bomani. That's code Bomani. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside. In partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, so I talk about Hayden Ash Joel doing the Ranger Tailgate podcast, but he also does another podcast where Brian Curtis called The Press Box, where he makes faces just like the one that he made, because they be spitting truth on there. Like, I just spit truth.
No,
and so the truth be making him scrunch his face up sometimes.
Again, I mean, people that know me know that I love nobody will ever say I don't love my people.
Oh, so I'm not your people. That's
well,
what
I'm just saying, you're the one that came on here treating me like this.
What you mean treating you like this?
People rewind the tape. You can go. It's on YouTube. Just go back and you can see how Bo welcomed me onto the show. It's fine. You still my brother, dog. I love you, dog. It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm tough.
brother.
I have a thick skin.
No, you don't.
Kinda.
But the press box, you guys talk about media issues, and something I've seen awful announcing broach, and I think you guys got into it a little bit on your pod, but I do think is interesting is that the stick to sports people won.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, we really do just kind of stick and ball discussions. I even find that a lot of my content moved more in that direction, but it's in part because it did feel in a way like much of the audience wanted to move kind of back in that direction. And I do think that if you look at 9-10 years ago, the topics that are kind of running the game, we don't have a Colin Kaepernick right now, right? Like, there's no like Joe Paterno, Penn State scandal of the likes. Like, and or maybe these things are happening and we just don't talk about it. I don't have the greatest answer exactly for that. But this gambling story is one that felt like it would have been wall-to-wall coverage all over the place with a zillion different angles on how to explore it, with lots of lawyers, some who are still lawyers, some who are lawyers that were turned sports bloggers, but giving their read on the paperwork and everything else. And it feels like sports media has actually somehow gotten less interesting and less adept in the course of the last 10 years to tackle things, where I felt like we were in a golden age 10 years ago to give you everything you needed on a story like this. And it doesn't feel like we're equipped to do that anymore, especially not on television.
Well, I mean, and we can get to television, but just think about how much sports media has been hollowed out just in the last few years, from like the regional sports networks. ESPN has cut back a lot. Like they really don't have it. I mean, how much do you think they've reduced their workforce in the last 5 to 6 years? I mean, it's a lot of people. It's a lot less programming and people over there.
True.
Deadspin is not what it was. Sports Illustrated, not what it was. ESPN the magazine don't exist no more. So when you're looking for all this stuff, the kind of deeply reported, well thought out work that we were enjoying 10, 12 years ago. I mean, people didn't support it or just went bankrupt and went away, didn't develop enough of an audience. So, and then here we are. Because where are you getting your news from now?
That's a good question. Like, I just feel like I get it. Like I couldn't give you a great answer. But the thing is, this is a story where people need it, man. Like, first of all, it is interesting to think that this would have been a much bigger scandal as recently as 10 years ago, certainly 30 years ago.
I mean, Chauncey Billups, man, he's an NBA Hall of Famer.
He's an NBA Hall of Famer and current head coach.
Possibly, allegedly, the rumor to have maybe tipped off people about, hey, man, I'm going to sit some people for this guy. I mean, that is crazy. Isn't that more outrageous than what Pete Rose was accused of doing?
Well, Pete Rose was... No, okay, so here's the difference.
Okay.
Pete Rose was making similar calls to receive information, and then rather than give it to other people, was using it on his own, which I think is fair to say was actually more outrageous than like he was actually placing the bets as opposed to like perhaps
giving the
looking
information
out for somebody.
That's fair, but it was like he was betting on himself, though. I mean, the thing about Pete Rose never bet against himself.
There was that. He was betting. He was betting other things too. The key was that he never bet against himself.
Never bet against himself. That's right. So that's kind of maybe that's what the way I come from it. As opposed to being like, well, I might be the reason that we lose tonight.
Right.
Here's how you can make some money on it. Allegedly. But yeah, I mean, that is a huge, I mean, Pete Rose held down sports media for so long. Like, we pretended to really care about gambling and its implications and what it could do for people's reputations and everything else for 30 years of my life.
Oh, I think people cared then. Yeah. I don't think that was phony. Like,
I think people cared then too.
Yeah, I think they cared. And I'll tell you this, I took a job in 2009. This is when I took the job with The Score doing the Bomani Jones. And my boss at the time, Mike Gentile, he'd been a radio producer, and he was like, look, you have a slow day to this day. And he says, to this day, you have a slow day. Ask if Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And hold on, keep in mind that he was in Canada.
I mean, man,
it wasn't even the United States.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Right? Like, it was still a go. But I think that there's a lot of depth to this that it's wild to think that we're not even necessarily that qualified to get into it, even though we got all these people who engage in gambling. But the problem is, like, I don't know if you saw when Charles Barkley was talking about it, where he was like, these guys are just stupid. And what Charles sounded like was a drunk who has disdain for alcoholics because they bad for the brand.
Right. I think that's the thing is that I can't relate to, and I assume you can't. I don't have that kind of vice, right? So it doesn't hit me. And we were talking about this a little earlier. So I got a call from a sports book the other day, a sports book that I use for work sometimes, just to get just as like an informational thing, not to gamble or whatever, put money on stuff. And they called me, and I'm thinking, oh, this is about something related to my work. And they're like, we noticed that you had opened your account and you haven't used it yet. You haven't fully set it up yet. Do you need any help with that? Or is there any reason you hadn't done that? And I'm like, you all are checking on me like that for real? Like, I mean, that was crazy. They were so insistent on the idea that I should be gambling. I opened this account. I should be putting some money on something. I should be doing some games. I'm like, man, if they'll chase you down and you're weak like that, if you have not weak, I shouldn't say that. But if you have
hold on. It's okay, I think, to say weak. Like, I'm saying addiction. If you're weak, I'm saying, yeah, no, but I mean, strong has to have an opposite, right?
Fair, yeah.
And in this particular way, people have weaknesses, right? Like, I don't think, maybe it's impossible to separate weak from a larger connotation. But if this is, calling it a vice and calling it a weakness are not different things. You know what I mean? And so if you're shaky in this regard, then you're going to shake.
You're going to shake. Okay. Well, I guess the way I'm trying to think of it is that, like, everybody has their, that's me and sugar. You know what I mean?
Right. Same.
Yeah. So, okay, we can say that it's a weakness then. But I mean, just imagine that, like, you're trying to stay away from that stuff. Like, right. And you can't get away. They are so pressed to find more customers and to expand it that they will call you.
So what I thought was wild about that when you said it was, I'm thinking strategically on their front. them calling to get you to set it up, that feel like a setup. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Like
Yeah.
this sound like something I don't need to be doing. If you'd have pressed about getting me into this sound like something I don't need to be doing. It seems like them phone, like, do you need any help setting up the account? Like, I can read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
know how to fill out a form. I feel like you trying to get me. Like, this is how I know. Hey, telling me, hey, why don't you just come down the aisle? Like in an alley, in a Goodfellas. Just go down there. Just go down there and they'll take care of you. Just go down there. I'm like, no. You're a little too pressed about getting me to go down that alley. I ain't gonna do that. But if I had already started, now is the time for you to call me. Like, now that I done hit this rock.
Yeah.
Right? Now there's a chance that you might be able to get me going on something.
Yeah, I mean that's right. I don't know what they thought was going to happen here, but yeah, I mean, because clearly I wasn't inclined to get involved in this, but maybe they thought that I was involved with another sports book or had another. Maybe they were concerned that I was, giving my money away to somebody else. But this is kind of my theory about life, and gambling is very different. Man, if you got to tell me how good it is, you got to pitch it to me like that, I'm just going to be a little bit concerned about why doesn't this sell itself? I don't understand. Like, why
Yeah,
do you
but I
need my?
mean, they just need you to give it a try because of everything that you got to get past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's they like. Should I make this comparison?
Well,
All I'm saying is sometimes the approach is to try to get people to understand that societal norms are not necessarily the be all end all. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta do what you want to do. Right?
yeah, right.
Like, come on, ain't nobody gonna look at you no different tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? like, come on now, no.
And ain't nobody even paying
I
attention to you like that.
I ain't gonna say nothing to my friends.
Yeah.
Like this is.
We don't. Yeah, I mean that is very true. They're like, hey man, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Nobody paying attention to you right now. The thought that like you're sort of anonymous to the world,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, that's right. That's right. I mean, but I don't know, man. I mean, I have real empathy for people that are, and it worries me. I have a son, man, and I guess I have a daughter too. But I mean, of the two that's more likely to develop an addiction to gambling, obviously it's the boy. And I'm like, how do you avoid that when you hear so many stories about kids having sports books open on their phone at school, or they just hang out? I'm just like, the idea of casually gambling in college, like that just seemed like a grown man thing to do.
Or at the very least, a white man thing to do. I was amazed to find out how many people gambled on sports. Like, I don't feel like that was a thing. When I got my college, I didn't feel like cocaine was really a thing, and I didn't feel like sports. I didn't know these two things was out here. Then I started kicking it with white boys, and it was a whole nother world.
I definitely thought gambling was a white boy thing. I was like, yeah,
but
right.
that's not the case anymore. And you notice, man, they pushing hard on black people platforms. Like Joe Budden doing Prize Picks commercials, for example.
I know, man. It's talk.
I mean, I guess they did it with me too. I mean, I guess this counts in the same way.
I mean, they getting this, man. Look, bro. I mean, it reminds me. It was funny. I don't know why I looked up Joe Cool or Joe Camel the other day.
I forgot about Joe Camel.
I was thinking about. I was like, what made people come up with Joe Camel? And Joe Camel was an invention of 1988. Like, I thought it was
really.
Yeah, I'm thinking this was it went back to the 50s and 60s or whatever. And if for people that don't know Joe Camel, I mean, it was like just a very cartoon camel
for Camel cigarettes.
For Camel cigarettes. And like they would dress him up. Like he had a whole bunch of different outfits. Sometimes he'd be looking like Billy D. Williams at a piano. Sometimes he looked like James Dean on a motorcycle. It was stuff like that. And so they were trying to sell the image of it as cool to a younger generation and a more urban a clientele. And I'm just like, oh, is this what gambling is now? Like, is it just kind of become a thing where it's like, all right, well, you see Jamie Foxx and all these other people talking, Joe Budden talking about, I'm putting some money on Jalen Brunson or whatever. And it's like, I guess like the stigma of that, or the idea that this is a world that will welcome you in and you can get in and gamble like the white boys,
And also, let me tell you this about Camel cigarettes. There's a good chance if you meet a woman and she got a box of Camel cigarettes on the bar, that's also a Jack and Coke in that glass.
Now, have you known a woman that smoked Camel cigarettes?
Yes, I have.
Ooh.
She was a Jack and Coke drinker too. I'm just telling you, like there's certain things that go together.
Man.
But that is the gambling. I had lost track of how many of these places they give you free money to start playing because they know that once you get you in, you'll do a little bit more.
Have you tried? Have you done any of this at all?
Sports game? No. I don't. I think it is. There's something about to me that doing this job makes me feel like that's something I should not do.
Okay.
On top of that, I
Man.
understand the type of ego that I have, and this feels like something I should be able to outsmart, which is what everybody thinks about this. And then, by the way, once you start winning, they stop letting you play.
But wait, so I mean, Nick is, I mean, like you said, is well versed in this, and I mean, he does high stakes poker games, all that good stuff. So that didn't influence you at all, thinking like, because there's a part of me that thinks,
please understand this.
Those gamblers know a lot about the game too, and I'm just like, I wonder if it would help me to know a lot about the game.
That is a fair point. I talk to guys who play in the business, and that is their rationale for doing this. But please understand, hanging out with Nick on a Sunday afternoon watching football is not a commercial for gambling. It is much more a commercial for the 800 number than it is something that makes you think that this is something that you should engage in. No. That is nothing about watching Nick on Sunday makes gambling look attractive.
Fair point.
Like, it's very similar to the example I make. It feels a lot like watching Uncut Gems.
Well, Van gives the example. I'm sure he told it here too about like he asked one of his uncles or somebody why you do crack, and he's like, I'm looking at y'all like why y'all did it. Why y'all ain't do it. Yeah, it's like I get it. I mean, so my thing is about gambling in sport. I don't need to care about sports like that. Like I feel like competition I don't need fantasy football or any other. The competition alone, the pageantry, the opportunity to sit down and enjoy. I don't need that. I don't want to be emotionally invested in a game like that.
Well, what it helps with is caring about the games that you don't care about. Right. And like, to me, I feel like if I need to make myself care about this, therefore I put some money on it. Have you thought about curling up with a good book? Or perhaps some other activity. Just throwing it out there.
I mean, the other week I told you I was watching Sam Houston State versus Utah.
Yeah, I thought you definitely had money on the game.
And you thought you can think there was any possible way. I was like, no, man, I just want to watch football, and I don't need no money to put do a prop bet to make myself enjoy it. And I mean, again, I'm grateful for that. I understand if you don't feel that way, then hey man, go with God. But they are preying upon on people's vices and introducing them to things and making them think that they could be smarter than they are. And I also kind of think that just because of like the way the economy is and the job market, I wonder how many people, and I wonder how many people think that they can make money to actually do it.
Yo, that's the thing about it, is that if you're doing it for fun, that's one thing. But if your plan is, I'm about to hit for this lick, that's not really how this works, brother.
There's a reason they're sponsoring everything now. You know what I mean? Like all them people,
Hey, man, they just like, look, it really is like rock. They just like, look, man, we can get you to hit that rock one time, baby. All we need you to do is hit that rock one time, right? And then after that, the rock gonna take care of it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? After you hit that rock one time, the rock sell itself. Like I think I told you once, one of my guys told me he took lessons, jazz piano lessons, and he said that or take piano lessons from a jazz piano player.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he told the story, it was of that day where all the jazz men did heroin. So he's like, I'm a jazz man now, I'm going to do heroin. And he said he shot that heroin up one time, and he said that as it was going, he looked at whoever it was and was like, hey, man, don't you ever let me do this ever again. He was like, I will be strung out on this shit so fast. He said he could not imagine feeling better than he did off that. I mean, it got to be, right? Like how good something got to feel for you to shoot it?
I would be very afraid. I mean, I don't think I could. It could get me like that, but yeah, I mean, it is kind of scary how bad people want it, man.
Oh, clearly it could get you. Like everybody else is telling you that very, very, very clearly it could get you.
I mean, how much better do you need your high to be, man?
But see, that's the thing. It's not about need. That's the mistake everybody makes, is thinking it's about need. It's not about need. It's just about want, right? Like it's just about want. And Yeah, couldn't be me.
I guess so. I
And
mean,
when I say couldn't be me, not couldn't be me to get strung out. I just got to keep myself out of that discussion.
right.
And I think that's part of it with the gambling, man. Got to keep it. I think this is the biggest thing.
Hmm.
And I think I've talked about this before, but the point that was made that the smartphone stopped online from being a place you went to being a place that goes with you everywhere. So when I go to Vegas, I play blackjack and I might lose a couple $1,000s in the course of the weekend because I made that decision before I show up that I'm going to play X amount of dollars in blackjack. Maybe it'll go up a little more, but I'm here. I'm going to have a good time. I am going to play it. And then when I leave the casino, I have left. With these sports books, you never leave.
Right. It's always there with you.
It's always wherever it is that you go. And that to me, I think, is where this is different than it had ever been before.
You can check. I mean, it actually. I mean, if you just kind of back up for a little bit, bro. I mean, in addition to the proliferation of smartphones, we really just got acclimated all of a sudden to them holding major sporting events in Vegas.
Yes.
Just like everything, it kind of has been a remarkable shift over the course of our lifetime because they were so deathly scared, so deathly afraid of the Black Sox or the old NYU scandals. Like those things were actually, if you were a sports fan and you those stories were real, they were scary stories, man, about like how they could totally destroy your reputation. And I just kind of feel like, I don't know what's responsible for our changing mores around that stuff, but I guess we just need a ways to sell things to more people. Maybe that's just what it is. And we're running out of things to sell people.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the issue is we're running out of new ways to get this money. Last thing before we get out of here. Deion Sanders is going to be the coach of Colorado in 2026.
Why? Why would he be? I mean, what is he? Look, man. So the one thing we know about Deion is that he coached his sons basically every step of the way. Youth ball, high school ball, college at 2 different schools. So that is an accomplishment. That's great. I would love if I had that as part of my story, right? That I got to coach my kids all the way through and enjoy a lot of success and a lot of attention. They're gone now. He's not doing well, like health-wise. He already told you he don't want to recruit. He didn't want to recruit. He told I don't need to leave Colorado to do this. So that to me, that shows that like you actually don't kind of enjoy a lot of parts of this thing. So what are they building towards? Like what is he coming back to next year? What are these other kids coming back to next year?
And by the way, on the short list of ain't no racism, Brian Kelly out here getting killed for not being out here doing the recruiting. And Deion Sanders is like, for who? For what?
He's like,
Brian
I can
Kelly,
always buy somebody else.
Brian Kelly highlighting that article and sending it to everybody. Like, what about Deion, huh? What about him?
Yeah, unfortunately, Brian, people like Deion.
Bro, and that has to drive him even crazier.
I know, right?
Because Brian Kelly's thing is he doesn't understand what the problem is.
Right.
And look, I don't know the man. I don't know what the problem is either, but he doesn't understand what the problem is.
I mean, do you think? I mean, he got to know by now, right?
Clearly, he does not.
Because the way people just celebrating, like he wasn't a bad coach. It didn't go 5-7. Like the program did not like hemorrhage or anything. It just. I'm just shocked that people hate him in that way. Again. So I take seriously the idea that a kid that worked on his football staff died under his leadership, right? Like when he was at Notre Dame, they had practice on a very windy day, and the kid, I think his name was Declan Sullivan, fell off the rise.
Yeah, Declan. Yeah,
that's right, Declan. Right. Yeah. So anyway, so I get that, but I don't think that would stop a lot of other people from hating other coaches. You know what I mean? Like I don't think a lot of other coaches would be branded like this if they had that in their background. Sadly enough, but for Deion, man, like also, bro, like man, Carucci don't want to. I mean, I probably want to come back to Dallas. This is what I want to give some clarity on this because I talked about Deion coaching at TCU. I wanted him there before they hired Sonny Dykes.
Who got you to a national championship game and you gave him no credit for it.
Yeah. I mean, look, was I wrong? I mean, Was I
Who got
wrong?
you to a national championship game?
Was
You
I
gave him no
wrong?
credit
Again,
for it, but go ahead.
I think he's a nice guy, whatever. But this is what it is. It is what it is.
All he did was get you to a national championship game. Why are you telling everybody else that they should be satisfied with what their situations are?
I didn't say, at this point, certainly this year, I think we should just keep him. Just let him, let's ride it out and see what happens. But I mean, the thing about Deion, I think if Deion had gotten the TCU job, I feel like this would all look a lot different. He doesn't have no connections to Colorado. It's hard to get people to go over there. Like they don't have no home. TCU, man, he lives in an area, maybe one of the best recruiting areas. He'd be close to home. I think he would be energized by being there. Like, if he been hired those many years ago and he was going through these health issues, I don't think people would be like, oh man, this is his last year. But because we all know that he ain't got no connection to Colorado, there's no reason for him to be there anymore.
Yeah,
That's why I think people are saying that.
Does TCU have enough money to be competitive in the way that you're talking about, though? Because that seems to
Does
be
Colorado?
The biggest problem. No, but I say the biggest problem at Colorado seems to be that they don't have the money. And so the idea that it would be much different at TCU, I think entirely depends on whether they have the money.
I think they've got decent money. I don't know if they got, Indiana, LSU money, but I don't think he needs that. And I definitely don't think he needs that in DFW.
I think the money has also diminished the comparative advantage of having Deion Sanders.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you got to pay him. Like it was one thing when he would never have gotten Travis Hunter to go to Jackson State if the money was what it is now. And look, that's only 4 years ago or 3. Like it's changed that fast.
That's right.
So that's where I'm wondering where, like, say, having the facilities don't matter as much as it used to. What about the charming assistant? How much, or charming recruiter? How much does that matter? Especially since he don't want to do the recruiting.
That's right. But see, I don't think the thing is, if you're at DFW, you ain't got
have to do that much.
You don't have to do that much. You have to go
I
this
think he
far.
don't want to get on planes. I bet he don't want to go. But he was already saying he can't go to no high school, which I thought was a preposterous thing for him to say.
I mean, yeah, man. Yeah. He's the one guy I think that could overcome a lot of that in Texas. Because you also know in Texas, for people that don't, the Texas High School Coaches Association is a big fucking deal. You got to lay prostrate in front of them people so they will, they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? They control a lot of people there. They have a lot of influence in that state. And Deion is like, I think he's the one guy that wouldn't need them because he's like, man, there's a lot of brothers, man. He could get, Coach Samples at Duncanville. He's got a line on a lot of other guys that I think because of Deion is the way he is, that he doesn't need all the same stuff that other coaches need, right? And I don't think it would mean that TCU would be a national championship contender, but I think it means that it would be 9-3 every now and again, and people would be happy with the program under him. And I think
9-3 at TCU requires you to be a better coach than I think that he has demonstrated himself to be. Has he done anything to make you think he can coach?
I mean, they got better last year, right? Like that defense got better,
but they got better.
Shador's not a great. As we see, he's not a great talent. Like
I hear you, but they just got their doors blown off by Utah. Like managing clock stuff like that, Deion has not demonstrated himself to be great at. I don't think that his teams have a clear personality or a clear identity that speaks to a head coach.
That's right. I mean, I'd be willing to take the chance if TCU. So if anybody at TCU is listening to me. If you want to try to get
I get it on the chance. I'm just not sure that it would go any different than it did.
Man, yeah. I think right now it's going okay, and he's rebuilding after he lost a quarterback that a lot of people thought should have been an early round draft pick and a Heisman Trophy winner and some other guys, and he's having to replace them, and that's what's going to happen in Colorado. And then Colorado's just a difficult job.
I mean, he got a 5-star quarterback, right?
Yeah, he got a 5-star quarterback. He got a 5-star left tackle. Not so long ago. So he's still able to get kids every now and again, but it's just a tougher sell at Colorado. It's beautiful as Colorado is and the tradition it has. It's just I think more for Deion, I'm like, why do you want to do this more than Colorado don't want him no more,
no, Colorado will keep him as long as he is willing to stay.
Yeah.
I like you, I think the health stuff. I mean, but I'm not in his body, so I want to be careful. Making too many assumptions about what he'll do because of his health, but I don't think I would continue to do that job.
It seems really difficult. I mean, maybe he could do a thing where he takes some time off and gets healthy or whatever, and he'll feel differently. I think college football is better with Deion.
But it's only better with Deion if he do anything to make us pay attention. They have been a wholly irrelevant factor.
But yeah, I
this
will still
year.
watch them when they're not good sometimes. I mean, I still think that Colorado Georgia Tech season opener did pretty decent, even though nobody was like,
Yeah, and I have no idea what the numbers are now. Like, I don't know how much people are still paying
It clearly ain't
attention.
what it is. I know one thing: Raekwon and whoever else, they ain't showing up on the sidelines.
That's
no
a
more.
great question. That was actually what I was curious about.
Yeah, now that kind of stuff is over. But they still have a little bit of cachet, and there's still some people rooting for them. And so, I mean, yeah, Colorado, man, I'm sure they will hold on to him forever because that ain't no easy job no more neither. So
I mean, look, Bill McCartney, underrated, great, all-time coach.
I mean, Gary Barnett.
Yeah, also Big 8 recruiting standards.
That's a very. I mean, also, it's a lot easier when you had to play against Oklahoma State.
Yes, I'm saying Big 8 recruiting
Kansas.
and Big 8, Big 8, man. You had 2 games to play every year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Nebraska and Oklahoma.
Nebraska and Oklahoma. That's all you had to do. But that is Joel Anderson. Check him out on the Ranger Tailgate, also on the press box, and wherever you are. If you listen very carefully, you can hear Joel hating on me somehow, some way. He's doing it.
I just want people to really take note of how this conversation has evolved from where it started to where it ended, and who was doing the hating. That's what I would think about. I was going to say something. You know what? I was going to clown you for a second because I thought you had like some mutton chops on the side of your face, and for a second I was like, that kind of looked like a Benny the Butcher type look you had going on. But then I was like, okay, it wasn't a mutton chop, so I let it go.
I wanted to hate so bad that I thought I saw something that wasn't even there. That's what I just heard you say.
No, I mean, I thought I was like, oh, that kind of. Anyway, it's just for a second. You don't look like Benny the Butcher. You don't let me go.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this 3 times a week, sometimes 4, sometimes with a hater.
Give that man 5 stars, but say that I'm the reason for it.
Ryan Brumley handles everything behind the scenes. Thank you, Ryan. Also hit the voicemail line 323-596-7767. Remember, follow The Right Time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars, I'll know your name is Joel Anderson, and I'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Take it easy.